are watching Karega Bailey, Part 8, Crave the Spotlight Media Marketing, Experts in the Spotlight. Join us now as Victor Irving Jenkins interviews Karega Bailey. Hey, so we're back here on the special edition of Experts in the Spotlight. We've got a bit of a panel now. We're here with Karega Bailey, who's going to do some of his poetry for us. And I'd like to introduce you to our panel. We've got a young man here, an up-and-coming poet. His name is Julius Levy, and this is Mr. James W. Sweeney. But at the moment now, this is about Mr. Karega Bailey and his contribution. So I'm going to give it to Karega Bailey. Now, Karega, let's hear some of that poetry.
Indeed. So, like the book, the poems, I give you the moment it was inspired, so you can see how my creative lens works, how I process the moment it was inspired, and what I aim to do when met with that challenge. So, dealing with the expulsion of two young men who were very close to me, and what I can do to arm the team with the information to make the decision, to give them a try, because we all in alternative school. I write this for two of my young boys. I say, hey, yo, I read his file, but I couldn't find his childhood. He grew up in the jungle where they rumble, bunch of wild hoods. If you never took the chance to talk to him, y'all should. Why? Because y'all could learn a lot from his life, like what it's like to hold on to nothing and fight for something. Police sirens and car alarms were his lullaby. To survive, he learned to lie and make up alibis. And he could show you where the bodies lie by alley side, inside the alley where they often known to ditch the joyride. His juvenile file and make you think his mom ain't nothing. But to know her is to know she thinks the world of him. It's just, they couldn't overcome the circumstance. He was a boy, but quickly had to learn to be a working man. Couldn't get the work permit, so he learned to work them grams. Master tucking hand to hands, money inside a rubber band, just so he could come in and put money in his mother's hands. Copped a bag of hard work, then he went to work his plan. And I speak in a lot of hood analogies, but for my speech I shall make no apologies. And I don't care if the scholars don't acknowledge me, as long as my students come and tell me that they're proud of me. And they can find inspiration in the lines I spit, and they can tell that their lives are what inspired it. Then I guess I'll be that dean and recover their dreams and let them know that success ain't as far as it seems. Ain't gotta like them, but it ain't for you to judge them. Until you took the time to love them, you can't tell me nothing. Ain't gotta like them, but it ain't for you to judge them. Until you took the time to love them, you can't tell me nothing. So spoken.
Hard to compete with that.
So the idea is, man, to convict those who consider themselves the judges. Give them background information on this young person. Celebrate the success. And you're only qualified to discipline if you were first loved. Otherwise, you're just issuing consequences. And consequences don't change behavior. In studying behaviorism, we know that punishment and consequences don't change behavior. Learned behaviors change behavior. So if we want that young man to change, someone has got to slow down and teach him a learned behavior. But you cannot punish or give him consequences to change what he knows. You're simply controlling whether he's going to do it if you're around or not. But you don't change what he knows until you teach him something different. And I teach out of love.
Thanks, Karega. This young man is an aspiring poet.
How you guys
Julius?
doing? Well, just like him, I'm going to give you a little freestyle, something I wrote a couple days ago. Basically, where my perspective is coming from, lately, I've been having a lot of, family members, getting, wrapped up in gangs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna come like, feel the wrath of the Titan. You better step back before you get struck by my lightning. I will have you flowing down a current. I'm so certain you can call me Poseidon. And if you act up, I just might gut you with my trident. Keep it lit, waves on dip, having seasick. Told a big guy, shake my hand like a partnership. I'm extravagant, extraordinary. Real players fade away in this rap game like Robert Horry. I'm just trying to stack my glory. These kids in the streets about this drama like Maury, you better think twice, your body might end up in a quarry. I'm a Nobel Peace Prize. A young gun on the rise from Valley High to Mac Road, just past the Yollers twice. These HOES trying to be my ride or die, grab a ticket, step in line, cause I'm not mesmerized by the traps in disguise. The glam and glitter, sister been a rip, I had to dismiss it. I spit flows like camels and rivers, I'm off the Richter scale, listen. Don't only got the milk carton cause your partner might be missing. That's one.
Go on, man, you go.
I know both of you have this body language thing as you're delivering. What is the significance of that?
I think just like he was, projecting earlier, the body language comes with, a good connection. with your audience, man. If you don't have good body language and connection, I mean, you gotta have a good heart to heart. So that's where I get mine from. And when I'm in the studio, I like to, you know, be amped and wired, and that's the only way I can really express my feelings and get a good recording is if I'm, you know, eyes closed, really deep in thought. So that's just the way I communicate.
So you've been out with camera tech, man. I don't even know you.
Yes, I am the camera tech, so, you know, I guess multi-talented. I'm gonna get at a lot of things, but lately, you know, I've been trying to get my hands in, you know, video editing, recording, photography. This wonderful man gave me a suit, gave my father a suit, probably gave him a suit. So, you know, he's been in the game for a long time. I remember, man, just sitting outside his house like, Dad, when we finna leave, I'm tired of looking at these suits for like 4 hours. But, you know, just like he, you know, said earlier, you know, it's about the perception of carrying yourself with the suit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I you know, you asked about the body language. So I'm born in '86, and hip hop has been a big part of what America has used in my lifetime. Not just my generation. America has used hip hop in my lifetime so much. And they've taken so much from hip-hop in my lifetime. And I'm here to restore what I got from hip-hop. So my body language is showing you just the fluidity of how we move. I say Peace King when I greet men. I say Peace King. And saying Peace King has allowed me to travel so many neighborhoods and so many places where people say don't go there. But if I greet you with peace and I say that you're a king, you can't misinterpret what I said. Mm-hmm. But the black man in my generation comes with a lot of posturing. You know, Richard G. Majors wrote in the cool pose. We pose cool. Everything's got to have this cool about it. And cool can be used to hide or mask other insecurities, right? So there's a language that we use in our body, our posture. You know what I'm saying? We might look at you like this, and you might say, what's up? You know, you might give an affirmation head nod. You might say, what's up? So I've learned not to even say what's up, because that can ask the wrong question, right? The other day, Valley High you speak of, all my brothers and sisters went to Valley High, right? Even my little sister's there now. She's a senior. She had a birthday party about 3 years ago, and we were in the garage setting up for the birthday party, and some young boys were riding by on a bike, and they were looking. Their heads were turned into the garage, and you know they had let me paint the picture. Had a beanie on. This is summertime. Mm-hmm. Had a beanie on. Their locks were, you know, twisted the way they were wearing them, hanging slightly off the head. You know what I'm saying? Pants were still sagging. Shirts weren't on because it was a warm day. They had on a beanie. So we would call this, you know what I'm saying? You had your mug on me. And they look in the garage, and it alerted some of my brother's friends and other guys from the garage immediately to the point where they thought it was going to be a problem. But I guess I had been touched in such a way and trained in such a way, I saw the empty windows in their eyes. They were simply looking for something to mimic or imitate. When someone has not yet found their purpose, they're looking for something to always mimic and imitate. Though their body said one thing, their eyes said another. And it said empty. Looking for something to replicate. Reached out to the young brothers, so they rolled by again. And just want to speak to them. Annihilate all differences, because we don't know if we have any differences yet. So let me greet you. Talk to the young brother. I knew they were going to end. I knew that they knew their party was going to happen. They're going to end up there one way or another. So if they had intentions to do something like ruin the party, they now know that they were received in love and welcoming. And I asserted myself, and I pronounced myself as a man, in case there were any questions on what the culture is when you come to this address. Mm-hmm. But they could have easily had other plans for that night. Mm-hmm. For a party they weren't invited to. You understand what I'm saying? In Valley High, there's a party and I'm not invited to it. Oh, then there's not going to be a party. Right? We know that. Yeah. Let's talk about the black male experience. So I wouldn't greet them. So what you're getting from me, man, is just the hip hop that I come out of. It's just my theater. That's what I'm brought out of. So just understanding the many different tongues I should pronounce my information in. I wrote it in literature because not everybody's going to listen to the rhythm of my music.
And I'm doing this on purpose. So I want to ask, what kind of revenue do you need to launch yourself? The way you want to be launched. What kind of revenue do you need to launch yourself? Because you're saying something that I think is bigger than you, me, and all the members of the panel. And I think we're tapping into something. And so I'm asking this question for a reason. Wow. Because this is clearly your season.
Most certainly. In November, the public presented to me $5,000 through a crowdfunding site called Kickstarter.
I'm familiar with that.
The public successfully funded the project, and that's how come the public was able to receive my album release concert, the tour that took me to Fresno, LA, Oakland, DC. It was responsible for creating the album. I used portions of those proceeds to create the documentary and print the book. And what we want now, so if that's what 5,000 did, and just being totally steadfast with the resources I was given, imagine what would happen if we are looking at now $20,000, where the band is traveling, because it's the soundtrack of hope that gets you going. It gets you in the mood to be activated. So imagine if the whole band is on tour now, and every show is signature, and every public lecture is key, right? And the literature is there, and the resources are there to disseminate. Imagine what 20,000 would do, right?
But we want to thank you all for joining us with a special edition of Experts in the Spotlight. It's getting pretty warm in here, and it's beginning to take on a life of its own. So we'll let Mr. Bailey close the show if he has anything that he wants to say. But we want to thank you all. I'm Victor Irving Jenkins. This is my panel, Create the Spotlight. We'll see you next time.
Hey, good people, soul supporters. You can catch me at www.soulspoken.com. That's S-O-L as in source of light. www.soulspoken.com. Get your copy of Surrender, the Poetic Ethnography. Get your copy of Surrender, the 22-track incredible album. Get your copy of Surrender, the documentary, Rhythm Restoring Hope. And get your apparel, but become part of the soul movement. It's not incumbent on me alone. It's our movement. It's our time. We have to seize the moment.
To the spirit of soul poets before him, Karega Bailey brings us a challenge to listen and think so we can be about the business of doing. In a time where we might be fooled into believing that we're free because somebody that looks like us holds the office of president.